There's this new trend happening right now where people are supposedly financing their lives.
Y'all really need to start using Klarna to get your groceries. Groceries are expensive, but I got all of this today for $55. So don't sleep on Klarna. It's not just for buying clothes or whatever else you use. You can use it on Instacart to buy your groceries.
It's not just about maxing out credit cards anymore for these people. It's buy now, pay later programs like Klarna, Afterpay, and Affirm. Oh,
I don't thank God for nothing else outside of himself, my family, kids, my health. I thank him for Afterpay, Klarna, Zip, Shopfo, whatever you want to call it.
How can I forget also Payday advances? I can truly say the last time I took one was when I was probably 18 or 19 and I was living on my own in California, and I had a terrible receptionist job commuting an hour and a half each way. Life was hard.
But never take a Siri suggested shortcut. Bitch, Apple, count your days. This dumb fucking robot bitch has put me in such a worse position. I'm gonna start crying.
But I was stubborn, determined not to move back with my parents, so I took out a payday loan. Boy, was that a mistake. I paid interest on top of what I borrowed, and honestly, it was pointless. If I had just asked a friend for help or, avoided my ego being bruised, I could have had just avoided that debt altogether. But that's how life goes. We make bad financial choices sometimes when we're desperate, and we end up paying the price later. People today aren't budgeting, plain and simple. Most don't sit down with pen and paper and ask, what can I afford? Instead, they impulse buy. They add subscriptions thinking I'll cancel it later.
My favorite hobby is spending fucking money. Oh my God. Nothing brings me more joy in life than going and spending fucking money and going home with bags upon bags. That is so fun. I don't care if I just spent $500 on a credit card and now I'm in debt.
And months go by without them realizing they've been throwing money away. I remember doing this when my daughter had Club Penguin. We had Club Penguin for so long, we didn't even know we were paying for it. Another issue is the mentality that young people have nowadays, like this I deserve mentality, or this fear of missing out, or as some people quote it, FOMO. It's that people cling to these small luxuries of survival. They use it as a way to say, I'm doing something for myself. Small luxuries, because this is what it really is. I used to be that way. I used to get my nails done religiously. I paid for weaves. I bought things I didn't need. And I couldn't really afford it, truthfully. If I had cut those non-essentials earlier, I think I would have saved a lot more money. But we don't prioritize, and we're not honest with ourselves. Ask anyone, how often they eat out. And most of the people will say, not that much. But if you go through their bank statements with a fine-tooth comb, the truth shows up. So today, there's no excuse with AI. You got tools out there that will allow you to budget within seconds. Back then we had to do it manually, sitting with a calculator, hunting for ways to lower costs. I remember switching to bare minimum car insurance, basic insurance, common collision, just to survive. And boy, did that leave me massively exposed if anything went wrong. Living without a real budget is like driving in a car without a seatbelt on. It's really dangerous. Financial stress is the number one cause of depression. That knot that you get in your stomach when rent is due, the dread of knowing you can't afford a night out with your friends, the fear when your credit card balance starts to creep higher. It eats at people. And while it's easy to laugh, and people use buy now, pay later, and you laugh at them and you're like, why would somebody do that? Because it's really eye-opening to know that people are making fun of these people, but then some of them are like, hey, this worked for me.
Did you know that more than half of the people who are going to Coachella GA this year are using a payment plan to pay for their ticket? What he found in his reporting is that this is a result of live music prices soaring in recent years.
Really threw people off as they were saying that people are doing the buy now, pay later for festivals like Coachella. Most of the people, I can assure you, that are going to Coachella are not middle-aged adults. They are likely college kids, trust fund babies, people whose parents cover most, if not all, of their bills. They're not regular broke adults. They're kids who don't fully grasp money yet. Remember, you were one of them too. So was I. But try to remember back when you were young. If you were not advised properly, you could see yourself easily getting wrapped up in something like this because you want to, like I said, fit in, you want to go, you don't want to miss out. For instance, my college-age daughter works a small job. She spends most of her money freely, and she racks up her own little debt without understanding the consequences. But I always remind her that if, grandparents and your parents weren't helping you out, paying your phone bill and things like that, life would hit you pretty hard really fast. So we need to be careful about judging people just really too quickly. Because if we really think back, most of us made dumb financial decisions when we were young too. Either because no one really taught us, and I keep stressing that, no one really teaches anyone about this. Or sometimes in some cases, people just don't listen. Credit cards are predatory. Loans are traps. And the sad truth is our education system keeps people financially ignorant on purpose. High schools don't teach financial literacy. Colleges don't teach students how to set up an LLC or how to build wealth or even basic money management. You could graduate actually with a business degree and still not know how to start a real business. It wasn't until I was 29 that I started to truly learn about money. I had to ask mentors, people who really had money, how they did it. I had to learn about things like compound interest, investing wisely, about saving consistently, about letting money grow. The reality is many of us, people like myself, we didn't really save because we simply didn't earn enough. If your income barely covers the basics, there's nothing left to save. And that's a systemic issue too. One that I'd have to save for another video altogether. But here's the final takeaway. If you're a financial creator, don't criticize, teach. Break it down for people in a real way. Here's how to budget on a small income, how to start saving $5 at a time, how to realistically invest as a beginner, what a real portfolio actually looks like when you're just starting out. Most financial channels are, in my opinion, they're too vague or their lingo is vague. Dumb it down for people. Explain in simple ways for like an 18-year-old to understand. They say they have a good portfolio or invest in stocks, but they don't show you how. Real change happens when you break things down, simplistically. Not everyone grew up with financial education, and systems like it that way. Buy now, pay later schemes have been around forever, and they always prey on the financially vulnerable. Instead of laughing at them or making videos saying how bad this is and I can't believe people are doing this, it's time we taught them better. Anyways, thanks for listening. Take care of yourself out there, and drop a comment.